on since last year. We knew that that safety was going to be a big ticket this year, and I see where there's been a lot of resources spent in that area. And I know that that's a physical approach that we are taking when we talk about all of the new improvements that we've been making. I just want to come back and remind you again that the tragedy that we're having with African American children is not the physical one, it's the mental one that we are having, and the mental problem that we're having based upon the misinformation that we're receiving. You know, as I was sitting in the room tonight, I've heard some people that have that kind of ill value system in place relative to trying to educate all of our children. And I pray for y'all's success up there, because you do have a lot of complications coming your way. And as we continue to look at things, I'm hoping that we would look at academics this year and include the idea of Florida Statute 1003.42 and really have a real meaningful dialogue with my community, one that we can stay specifically focused on the real problem. And when you look at the data that you have accumulated with all the reports that you have, you know that African American children are on the bottom of it, particularly African American male. And we're not complaining, because we understand the game that's been played on us. But what we're asking now, since we're in an era where everyone is professing that they have moral fiber and they have some kind of decency about themselves, we're asking you to take another critical look at the reality of what is taking place with African American children. And based upon some of those of you who are sitting up there on the dais, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and we haven't, as of yet, took this problem that we have with academics and put it in the front of us. And we in Palm Beach County, we've always bragged on the fact that we were leading the rest of the state with our efforts. I'm hoping that we will continue along that line, and we have different things in place, but I hope and I pray that we will refocus ourselves again and really put into the conversation, because even tonight, I know that African American children are not important to a lot of people, but I still say we are part of this county. We've built some of the longest investors inside of the school district. We have some of the greatest stories to tell, but we haven't looked at the reality of Florida Statute 1003.42. And I'll leave you with a few minutes. Thank you for your time. And until we get on this road, we're going to have to do something different. Dr. Fenoy, I haven't heard anything from the Superintendent Task Force for African American children, particularly the African American male child. I'm hoping that we will make that a priority, recognizing the fact that everything is on the bottom. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Henderson.
Thank you. I'm Rashana Henderson, and greetings to you, Palm Beach County School Board, and I commend you on your great start to the new year. I'm a resident of Palm Beach County, and I'm a mother to a 5-year-old who attends school here. I am here to propose an annual Serenity Stations decoration event. What are Serenity Stations? So, inspiration and safe spaces where students can vent, process, and potentially heal their pain through the process of anonymous journaling. Each morning before school and each night before bed, I lead my daughter through a series of daily affirmations. I am beautiful, I am brilliant, I'm smart, and I am enough, etc. Not sure of all of the effects today, but I know one day when she does not get the best grade on a test she studied for, or is disappointed about things within her control and outside of her control, I know she will hear the internal voice that says, I am beautiful and I am brilliant. Affirmations are important. Our students are growing up in a time more challenging than we would ever want to imagine. There is often fear, anxiety, and other not so great emotions experienced before arriving to school and during the school day. My proposal for Serenity Stations to be created at the Serenity Stations decoration event is to add to the great resources already in existence within the school system. Many students currently have the ability to process and release pain through journaling and art projects as implemented and/or supported by the Social Emotional Learning Programs Advisory Council. The Serenity Station decoration event would be a county-wide event that brings students together on a strictly volunteer basis. The day and time would be approved by the school board. The Serenity Stations are designed for students by students with oversight from adults such as the Parent-Teacher Association. There are poster boards, markers, journals, vases, and, of course, flowers. There are drinks, snacks, and music. Most importantly, there are students there with a heart and a desire to connect to other fellow students through the creation of affirmation boards for their fellow students who may be experiencing challenges. Through this collective experience, they will learn that all pain is the same and realize that the Serenity Stations are for, well, everyone. My short-term goal would be that this Serenity Station decoration event would be adopted here in Palm Beach County, and long-term, of course, that it would be implemented and adopted across the country. We witnessed the Parkland students bravely galvanize around gun control. The Serenity Station's decoration event offers the opportunity to galvanize around creating a more empathetic and connected environment for our Palm Beach County high schools. Serenity Stations are a place of connection and hope, and in this place we can collectively destigmatize mental illness and the way we view life challenges. The detailed presentation was emailed to you all, but I'm happy to email it to you again at your request. Thank you for your time and consideration, and best of luck this year.
Good evening.
Okay.
First of all,
Ms. Charisma, before you start, somebody from staff will follow up with you on this one. So thank you very much, Ms.
Thank you
Charisma.
for your time.
thank you. First of all, I want to say that today is Mother's Day in my country, Costa Rica, so happy Mother's Day. My name is Sarah Charisma, and I am here exercising the freedom of speech in order to defend the dignity of our profession and the education of our children. Today, I'm speaking on behalf of the ESC students in the district. Those students that for many years in the district, for the district and some administrators count as a 0.5 student, not as a 1 student, not as a whole student, with the story or excuse that there are 2 teachers in the classroom. For all of us who work in Palm Beach School District, our priority should be the education of our children, but our number 1 priority should be the education of our ESC students. If there is not money to give if there is not money to give the proper education and support to those kids' needs, then there is a problem. And that problem needs to be fixed in the building, not in the classroom at the ESC students' expenses. The funniest, the saddest, the best, or the worst part of all this is that some inclusion classes have no support facilitators. Neither there are 2 teachers in the classroom. I'm begging you, please, members of the board, to instruct the school district to make all the necessary adjustments to stop in every school, in every classroom, for every student, this discriminatory practice, policy, procedure against the ESC students. So together, the board, the district, and the teachers, we all can make a difference for them, their education, and their future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jane Justice, Edith Pride, Ginger Blankenship.
Somebody's left their keys here. Somebody's lost their keys. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. My name is Jane Justice. And the reason why I know that we're going to put the tax question on the ballot, but I don't think that releases anybody from the responsibility of what's actually happening if we raise taxes. The people are really outraged when they find out. Many people do not know what these inflated salaries are that the executives are receiving here at the school. You know the ones I'm talking about that were created, at least 10 extra executive positions created, up near, almost $300,000 a year base salary. That would be okay if it was necessary, but it isn't. And it's really interesting that nobody considered when they did that to throw a few crumbs to the teachers. It was really interesting, and now you want to raise taxes for the teachers. I heard someone say also a couple meetings ago that the schools were overcrowded and you need to build schools. I guess you're working on that. So you're going to need more money after that, too. It's just a continual asking for money. Wow, I wonder who's going to be getting that contract. And I know how they go, because they don't always go the way they're planned, do they? Now, when you decided to allow illegal residents residents to flood the schools, you actually broke the law and you broke the trust of the American taxpayer. Palm Beach County is receiving a nice portion of $800 million for school security from the state. So there's also a lot of money. There's a lot of new construction going on. So that's going to be tax money coming in. So why do you have to go back and beat the poor people down again? Okay, I'm telling you, it's not, what's going on out there is not good. And there's much, okay, where is the accountability? Now, I believe that the children are being used, and they have been used to confiscate what has been easy money. If we really care about the children, we'll show them by example what it is to balance a budget. Will we take care not to bankrupt the city, the state, and the country? Because when the dollar bill collapses, everybody's going to suffer. And I want to know where the jobs are going to be for these kids when they get out of school. Just for the lucky few who play the game? And what exactly are we teaching? I'm really concerned because I heard a few people get up here, teachers, and they were wondering. I guess you've had over 100 teachers let go and you didn't tell them why. Well, what is really going on? Why? I'm concerned about that. What's being taught? Everything comes from the top down. I heard somebody here on the board say they were so upset that the kids were being separated at the border. Let me tell you something. The American soldiers that lost their lives, they've been separated by their children.
All right, thank you very much. So, next speaker. All right. So, and, I would like to invite a speaker if they'd like to get the real information, please feel free to call the district, and somebody from district staff would be glad to. Mrs. Pride.
Hello.
Mrs. Pride.
Yes, good evening. Mrs. Pride, and I represent Area 14 for CTA, but today I'm speaking as an individual. So happy third day of school, Dr. Flournoy. You don't know me maybe as much as I wish you did. However, when I was here before, you were in another department, and I don't know if you paid attention to what I said because it really didn't affect you. However, now that you're the big cheese, you're the boss, I just wanted to welcome you to the county because before, you had all the people celebrating you, your people, your family, your kinfolk. Everybody was so happy. And so I just said, let him have a little peace. But this is your day to meet me. And happy third day of school, all the board members. So now that you're here, I'm just glad everybody's doing so well. I'm glad Miss Whitfield is feeling better. I'm just glad to see everybody. And this is just a welcome. So now I really want to say this. Props out to Dr. T.E.N. Salzman. He is my area director, and I have a wonderful relationship with him. I can call him whenever I want, and he will call me back. He hears, and he actually listens, and I know he wants to crawl under that seat right now, but too bad. And my other, my elementary superintendent, Jamie Wyatt, who I know is under the chair now somewhere, I want to give shout out to her, my principal, Renee Elf. We are on that ship. She's the captain, and we are rowing the boat. And our assistant principal, Monique Coyle, she came last year. Y'all took Mr. B from us. But you gave us somebody good, and she's wonderful. So I want to shout out to her. And I just want to say, Frank came to my school on the first day of school. Frank Barbieri. He is my school board member. Hey, hey. And Jamie Wyatt was here today. And so the people have just started out well. And I still want you to know, and the news have told us all about the Tolman Douglas children went back to school today. We all said it was kind of depressing. However, I want you to consider two things. Dr. Flournoy, get your pencil. Are you ready to write? Okay, because my time is running. This is the first time I ever spoke without a speech. Okay, I want you to check out the schools, the older schools that were built by railroad tracks. Because, a lot of these towns, these cities, Boca one, okay, they don't want the train to toot a horn because it's noise. So you're going to either get killed by the silent train or be woke up by the noisy train. Yeah, I don't understand that, but you need to find out what to do. And I think you need to have y'all, come on. You need to have a practice drill for evacuation at every school. Because it's not the time when everybody's freaking out, crying and screaming and hollering, trying to evacuate. Okay, so now everybody, thank y'all. And remember this, Dr. Fenoy, pay teachers what we have earned, because you can't pay us what we're worth.
Thank you very much. Mrs. Blankenship? Mrs. Blankenship. That concludes our agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Mrs. Brill, second by Mrs. Whitfield. All in favor, all opposed. We stand adjourned. Carol, she was the right person to end this tonight.
He was right on.